Gundam AGE-1 Normal. Hey, what's up again everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs, 2Bs from gundam.tk and YouTube, and yes, a new Gundam anime is about to kick off October 2011, and to celebrate that, the first in the series of high-grade Gundam Age, it's the Gundam AGE-1 Normal, is bought and about to be put together just in time for the first episode to air. This kit went on sale in September of 2011, and sells for the reasonable entry price of 1,200 yen. After Gundam 00 had 2 successful half-seasons plus a movie, Gundam Age is taking things in a little bit of a different direction, with Level 5 doing a bunch of stuff involved with this, and things taking a much younger turn. However, you've got the AGE-1, which sort of looks like a pretty classic design, RX-78 2-ish, you could perhaps say. But because we do know a little bit about the story and that it's multi-generational, the fact that we've got the AGE-1 just makes me really curious how far these designs are going to come and what the AGE-2, 3, or whatever they look like by the end of the series and where this is going to go. Here's the logo for the new high-grade Gundam Age, which follows up from Seed and Seed Destiny and 00. And one thing that I'm always excited about, of course, this is 01 in the series, is that whenever Bandai puts together a new line, they tend to incorporate new kinds of technology. So even though this is only 1/144th, I'm excited to put this kit together just to see what kind of ideas we can expect to see incorporated throughout its run. Now, even though I said that this is going to be aimed at a younger audience, when I look at this cover art, I don't know how this quite stacks up. You've got a lot of information written off here, which leaves you a lot of room for just a big splashy art. But for me, when I go back and look, this really reminds me of the old high-grade series, 1/144th from back in the day, RX-78-2, the 178, the Zeta, and the Double Zeta. But you've got, again, a lot of art and a lot of information written over there. So I would say that this cover art seems to be going back, but not forward, but that's just an opinion. So what do you think? To the side of the box where you're going to have the A, B, and C plates all laid out there with a front and rear shot of the AGE-1 showing off those race car fins on the back. But basically they're talking about how in the Gundam Age Pla Model series, the Gundam AGE-1 Normal is going to appear, and because it has the colored plastic and the snap fit, their pursuit of easy to put together, they want you to enjoy that, which is always great. Of course, it's worth mentioning that this is painted by a pro, as they point out there that it's been painted to look similar to the package. Next, we have a great pose, and that's possible because of the waist and the torso here, that they're going to have a ball joint in there, which means you can recreate all sorts of twisting poses, and if they look that good, I'm going to be pretty happy. In addition to the regular grasping hands, you're also going to get the open parts here for the left hand, which looks pretty impressive, especially as you can see it posed there. And in terms of the action and armaments, the Dod's rifle can basically be put together in 3 different ways. You basically just pop off the front, turn it sideways there, or you can have it that way. It remains to be seen how well that works in practice. To the chest, where they're talking about that it's got its special mark and that it's been recreated in incredibly fine detail, but again, this is painted by a pro. Let's see how that works once it's out of the box. You'll be getting 2 beam daggers, 2 beam sabers, and the length is different here, and you're going to be getting 2 of each, although it looks like only 2 handles. But yeah, that's a pretty impressive kit, and I'm going back to the Master Grade Ground Gundam where it was a big deal that it could sort of kneel. If this can pull it off, and it's talking about how the limbs have all sorts of points of articulation, and that you can get all sorts of poses recreated, if this works, I'm going to be quite happy with this 1,200 yen kit. To the other side, where we get a couple pictures from the anime, and the regular line art here for the AGE-1 Normal, and it talks about how basically people began to move into space, 100 years have passed, and they thought all the wars were going to be finished. However, that hope is soon dashed, as the unknown enemy is going to appear. He destroys a colony, and because of that, the tragedy is going to continue, but a new fight has begun. Then we have some pretty cool pictures here with the Gafran, or the UE, the unknown enemy. And that's what they're called, and they don't know their true form since they've been attacked by that. And because of that, on the colony, the AGE-1 Normal is going to has begun its counterattack. And finally, we're going to have a very nice picture of this out of the box, unpainted by a pro. They've tried to make the colors look as good as they can, and I think they do a pretty good job, although again, that chest is a little bit hidden, and I'm wondering about those grays on the knees. Let's crack this open and see what you're going to get inside. Yes, polycaps. That's what I wait for whenever a new anime comes out. 4 colors on the A-plate, a seals, stickers in there. You're going to have 4 beam sabers, white and gray in a single bag, and a manual. That's it. Again, some great looking cover art there, and then you're going to go on to the AGE-1 Normal. It's written there in English and Japanese. And then they actually talk about, we've got a scene from the anime, and basically Flit Asano has developed this mobile suit, and it can change its it can change what it's wearing depending on the situation. Because of the age system, the core parts, you can swap the other parts on and off, the limbs, and it can become a new machine. And there's our antagonist, Frito-Lay Asano, no, Flit Asano, I suppose, who was born into a family of Earth Federation scientists. And basically, well, he's a youth, of course, and the age device, he uses all the information that's been in there, the data, to create the AGE-1. And there's the age device itself, which is used to drive and operate the Gundam. Crack open the manual and you've got the ABC parts laid out. There's the X's for the polycaps. It's only 40 parts to replace things if you do happen to lose some, sadly for Japan only. But this is something I like to see. On master grades, they'll generally show a picture, some CAD drawings of the actual parts you're building, but here at least you're getting the name. So you can build the body, you can build the head, then you can go ahead and build the different arms. After you've done that, you do the legs and the feet, put them all together. It says down here how to actually put this into the Gundam AGE-1 Normal before beginning the weapons. Back page is in color, so put the shield together, how you actually put the beam sabers into their holsters or into the hands. You can show that you can choose between the lengths there, how you transform this into its whopping 3 different forms. Playing with the forearms, it looks like you're going to have to take the part off, rotate it 90 degrees to put the shield on, which sort of defeats the problem that the old Victory Gundams used to have of it pointing to the back. If you get an action base too, it looks like you've got a part that you pop out, and then you should be able to get some pretty cool aerial poses. In terms of simplicity of reading, I have to say that this comes across as being pretty clean. You just have a few more warning points, and they're actually putting words right in there instead of just saying warning. And then I do like the fact that they've got those chapter titles, but it comes across as being a lot better and cleaner, and I like the use of the shading and the white parts, so far this should be pretty easy for any kid to come and pick up and just start putting together. To the weapons, where they're quite proud of the fact that there's clear parts there, and yes, you can change this into a whopping 3 variations as Dodd's rifle. And something I'm pretty happy to see about is the shield, that you've got the gray, the blue, and the white, and because they are made out of separate parts, that you actually have everything partitioned off and finely detailed quite nicely. Now here you get the wear variations, where you're actually able to change what the AGE-1 is from the normal, and you can have the AGE-1 Titus, which is of course its power mode there, and then you've got the AGE-1 Sparrow, which is very slim and is designed for nothing but speed. And up at the top, they're going to show off their spaceship, the Diva, which of course where it can change its wares or suits. And then down here, it's going to talk about how the chest mark, a special mark, has been recreated. And I'm really excited to see how this is going to be made in a master grade and 1/48th scale. Here's the color guide with the 4 main colors as you'd pretty much expect it. The gray for the inner frame is gray 80% with black 20, and they do make special note that for the knees in the middle of those parts, they are going to have some midnight blue 90% plus white 10%, and for the real pros, you can go ahead and paint the clear parts that they're not going to give you for the eyes, but you could at least go paint them because they do give you notches on the actual plastic parts. With a brand new show and series kicking off, and more importantly a brand new line in high-grade Gundam Age, there's a lot to talk about, so stay tuned. I'm going to break up this intro into 2 parts, and you can see the next part with all the plates and everything not shown here. Anyway everybody, Robert184, Gundam.tk, thanks for sticking around. High-grade Gundam Age is on its way. I look forward to building a lot more from here on, and thanks for watching everybody. See you next time. High-grade Age doesn't seem to be worth a box drop, but I do worry about the 1/48th.